What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bobby Suarez Show. Today I have a very special guest based out of right here in South Florida, out of Fort Lauderdale. His name is William Dennis, aka Willy Numbers.
Appreciate it.
So, Willy, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Cool, man. So I wanted to get started. I know some of your background. You graduated from Columbus, right? Mm-hmm. And can you fill us in? What'd you graduate in?
So I graduated and I went to FIU. I
Okay.
went to school for finance. I made my way up to Merrill Lynch in Wall Street for like a little bit over a year, and I was a junior oil trader in commodities, and then I got fired. So that was
Nice. And did you like your job while you were doing it?
Yeah, I love what I did. I always wanted to be on Wall Street. You know, the whole numbers thing. That's kind of where it comes from.
Really?
I always wanted to be on a hedge fund or something like that. I did not think that it would work out the way that it worked out, obviously. I got fired a year plus into the job.
Okay.
But I was working like 100-hour work weeks. I would sleep at my desk sometimes. That really is like that, especially when you're brand new to Wall Street. So, you know, it taught me a lot about work ethic. Nothing's ever given to you. It's a very fast-paced environment. So I took a lot of those skills and I brought them into business. But I always knew that I wanted more. And, you know, being an employee was just, I'm glad that I got fired because it just like accelerated my journey that I kind of already felt that I wanted to be there.
Got it. So you were there for a year and a half. You got fired. Mm-hmm. Then I imagine you moved back to Miami right away?
I moved back to Boca, actually, with my mother at the time. And she was going through a divorce. So it was just like from all angles in my life at that time, it was not good.
Got it.
So she was going through a divorce. She was not in a good place. I was clearly not in a good place. But when I moved back in, I mean, it was a really humbling experience. You know, I was living in Manhattan in a little 200 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
I thought I was hot shit, you know.
Yeah.
And then now I'm back home with my mom, and she's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I told her, I was like, "Look, I'm never gonna work for anybody ever again." It affected me that deeply. So I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do, but that much was sure for me.
You knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Of some sort.
Okay.
I was gonna, you know, that's why I really believe in like what Tony Robbins says, you know, don't worry about the how. If the why is big enough, the how will follow. Yeah. And I took that to heart. I really did. Nice.
And did you start in real estate right away, or did you end up getting other jobs in between?
Man. So we kind of touched on this in the show that we did, but you know, when I first got back, I had about a month period where I guess like finding myself, my life, whatever. It was a weird time. I was like 24-ish.
Yeah.
I had a friend, his name was Jake, who told me, listen, I'm buying and selling these diabetic testing strips at the time. This is like 2015, 2016. And why don't you come and do it with me and we can just, you know, we can do this together. And I honestly, bro, the first opportunity that came my way, I jumped on it, which was that.
Got it.
Now I'm a college graduate, was on Wall Street. Now I'm putting out bandit signs that say I buy diabetic testing strips at night in the rain, taking calls in the morning.
So you were buying these from like regular people in the street. Got it.
Yeah, just regular people. They would call in and, you know, sometimes it was 2 boxes, sometimes it was 15, 20 boxes. You know, I probably was making like $400 or $500 a week, just straight hustling, driving there. And my ex-partner and I, and we ended up co-founding the real estate company. But I did that, bro. And then I think 4 or 5 months into that, I was listening to podcasts and I heard a Sean Terry podcast, Flip to Freedom. And there was a guy on it that was in South Florida. And he was the guy that got interviewed. And I cold called him. I showed up to his office. I told him, listen, I'll split my first 5 deals with you 50-50 if you teach me how to do this. I don't know anything about real estate, but I had
who was the guy?
The guy was Raul. Yeah.
Okay.
And dude, I had one credit card. I had a Bank of America credit card because I was at Merrill Lynch and they were owned by BOA. I had $28,500 limit on that card, and that was like my oh shit emergency money. Yeah. And I bankrolled everything on that credit card, and that was that. That's how we got started.
So you got started. You did a couple deals there and then when did you decide to finally go on your own and open your own operation?
So right after the 5 deals, I think it was like deal 6. Our agreement was for 5 deals. So deal 6, we just took off, bro. We did 5 deals in 91 days, and we were, bro. At that point, like you know my personality, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And we were cold calling, we were doing direct mail. I mean, we just went like, whatever all in was, we did more than that.
Nice.
And I didn't, I mean, even, it's funny because I want the viewers to know this. At the time, we would cold call during the day and the direct mail would hit. It was very small. It was like 10,000 pieces a month. And then I would drive Uber at night, like literally driving people around at night from like 10 p.m. till 2 a.m.
Wow.
Just to have money to pay like bills and stuff. So we were doing that as we were building the business. So I was really hustling like 7 days a week, day and night, barely sleeping. I didn't care. I just wanted to succeed.
Yeah. And right when you started on your own, how long did it take you to get your first deal to start seeing money coming back in?
After the first 5 deals?
Yeah, like when you went on your own.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to start seeing money?
It was probably like 2.5, 3 months after that.
Got
that
it.
we got like our first real solid deal on our own. And, you know, we bounced around after that. You don't know what you don't know. You know, the next 1.5 years was tough. You know, just learning shit. And, you know, I got into a couple rehabs when I shouldn't have. I mean, that was a disaster too.
Yeah.
You know?
So you were just kind of figuring that out as you were going.
Yeah. And then we found another mentor, I think almost 2 years into our business. And then that was a different relationship, and we worked together with him for about 14 months. That really elevated that dude. No one will know him because he was like a low under the radar kind of guy. Mm-hmm. He really helped us to get us to 7 figures. Like that whole mindset changed. He taught us what like niche deals were, how to do them creatively. I learned a lot of stuff mindset wise from him. He was a really, really big positive influence in my life in that regard.
Nice. And did he also teach you how to scale as far as finding the right people? At that point, did you start hiring?
I didn't hire our first hire. Yeah, our first hire was like 2.5 years in. It was an assistant. It was a VA. Okay. But yeah, he taught me how to delegate, you know, non-RGAs, revenue generating activities. He taught me like the concept of that, what the hell a KPI was, right? Yeah. Not just to bounce around and like, oh yeah, I think we're doing well because we got money in the account, right? A couple deals closed. Yeah. You know, shifting away from that mentality. So yeah, he definitely like opened my eyes to what a business actually could look like.
Funny you mentioned that you found a mentor, because man, it's super important. That's what completely changed my business and helped me elevate to a different level. It's funny because when I got started, I didn't even know what wholesaling was. Yeah. Dude, I started fixing and flipping, and I thought that was the only way to do it. And then I kind of stumbled upon a deal that it was in an area I didn't want it. And I told my buddy at the title company, he was like, yo man, just call this guy and he'll wholesale it for you. I'm like, wholesale? What's that? It's crazy, dude. That's when when I put 2 and 2 together and I really started honing down on doing more wholesale deals. Obviously your cash conversion cycle is way less.
Way better.
Right, so let's just fast forward a bit now. So you did that for a couple years, and I know you made some changes since then. Yeah. What does your business look like now? Yeah, so from the time that we're talking about, we scaled very, very high. Our peak year was 2021. We did 7.3 mil that year in mostly wholesales. I would say probably 88%. And were you in multiple markets or just South Florida? South Florida, the Tri-County area. We had some outliers in like Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, but out of 160 deals, it might have been like 10 or something. Got it. So mostly here. In 2022, as we know, market shifted, right? Things started to change. I had internal personnel changes. I ended up buying out my partners. We had a difference of opinion, of visions. So the last year of my life, I started an education company, coaching and stuff like that. Honestly, because I was just I was dealing with the whole partnership buyout, and I was also, quite honestly, tired of the whole rigmarole, and I wanted like a fresh reset. So I had made enough money, thankfully. I kept a bunch of rentals. I was still doing deals here and there, but today my team is 7 people. We average about 35 to 40 grand a month in overhead, and we're on track to do about $250,000 months. So, nice. But it's a much leaner operation, much cleaner, 95% wholesale. I only flip something. So like my rule is if I can't double 2.5x my wholesale fee, I will not take it down. It's not worth the risk. I have that same rule for my flips. Yeah, you know. So it's hard once you do enough deals. It's hard to look at a 60K assignment
and 100K net rehab and be like, why am I going to do that 5 months in with all the added risk and the bullshit and the headache?
Yep.
So that's what my team looks like today. The education company, we deal partner with people. So we help them get deals. We don't work with newbies. We really work with people that at least have some level of experience and they want to scale, kind of like what my mentor did for me, and take it more seriously.
So you don't, in essence, you charge them a fee up front?
We do charge a fee up front, and the simple reason for that, I am not the cheapest. I'm happy to say that because I value my time, but I also want them to have skin in the game. And those who pay attention. So for sure, that's how I did it. With my mentorship, I paid to play. You paid to play.
Of course.
We still pay to play in Masterminds, right?
Yep.
And that's how you keep the riffraff out typically. And then we deal partner on the first 4 deals.
Nice. So how does that look like? Are they in charge of finding the deals? They come to you and what you do, like a 50-50 split, something
Correct.
like that?
So typically the way it works is we'll help them with, tweaking up their marketing, their systems, their processes. They really integrate into our business so they can see what a real operation looks like in terms of the TC, the dispo, all that, the systems, processes, whatever. And we're teaching them that as they go along. So they're learning and they're also doing deals and they're making money at the same time. And they're also learning how to do it, in my opinion, the right way. Rather than, hey, just make 100 offers on the MLS every day and hopefully something sticks. Or co-wholesaling some deals. These are actually guys and girls that are learning how to source their own deals. They typically bring the deal back, or if the deal's like right on the edge and they don't really know how to structure it, hey, this is better as an ovation. That's where I'll step in. Or, hey, we could structure a postdoc like this. We could do this. We could do that. Bringing in my experience. And then, of course, all my resources come as well. So, like the title company, the lenders, all my people.
Yeah, all your connections, everything.
Right. So, and typically what we found is, and this has happened time and time again, let's say that they have a 30K assignment in their eyes. By bringing it to a guy like me or yourself, that turns into a 50, 60K assignment just because of the relationships and the network and the power that we have to leverage the MLS, to leverage our contacts, right? All that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
The 7 people or team members that you have, are these completely virtual?
They are completely virtual. So I do not run an in-house model. And by virtual, some of them are overseas. Some of them are in the United States. They're just virtual. For example, my TC lives in Phoenix. Or excuse me, Sedona. My main acquisition rep, 2 of them live in South Florida, but they're virtual.
So they only do phone appointments?
Correct. We will go out on physical appointments if need be.
Got it.
The conversions are typically higher. So we do that. We do PPC as well, but we keep a very inbound heavy business. I used to be very heavy outbound. We were mailing 220,000 plus pieces a month and, 40K a month on PPC and all that stuff. I've really just simplified it, bro, where kind of like your business model, where inbound is obviously better. We still do some cold calling, but it's to very niche lists. And we focus very heavily on super niche data, very, very concise data, stacked data. So we know that the statistical chances of a seller converting are very high, and we're not talking to the wrong decision makers, right? So that's really how we keep it. We keep it simple.
Nice, man. How do you manage like your culture and things like that? Like how do you? Because for me, in my mind, I love having everybody in the office, right? We've talked about it offline and in your podcast. So how do you keep everybody motivated, incentivized? Like, how does that work in your company? How does that look like?
So look, it's different. I've ran an in-house model where we had like 17 people at one point in an office, and then I ran a hybrid model, and now this is mostly virtual. I'm not saying I'll always keep it this way. We could talk 6 months from now and I got an office and I decided to bring part of it in-house. We do have daily sales meetings on Zoom. We get on a lot of Zooms.
Are you holding these meetings still, or do you have
my sales
manager?
director is usually the person who's hosting these meetings. I usually do my best to jump on for any kind of meetings. I like the team to see me. I like to hear from the team. I think that for a long time, I thought a leader was supposed to be behind the scenes and not really heard from. I'm sure you would agree, you learn so much from your team and being physically interacting with them. So, and of course, we track KPIs like mad people, So you're gonna know whether your team is faltering and where in your business that break is based on your KPIs. So it's a little bit different to handle culture online. But the more engaged that we are, and the fact that we talk to each other every single day, we have Slack channels, we have WhatsApp channels, we send voice notes, we send videos. I encourage sending videos to one another, FaceTime, Zooms. It is a very interactive approach.
Got it. What and what CRM are you guys using now?
We're using Go High Level. So we built out, actually with Esteban Andrade, he built out a very custom version of Go High Level for us. I've done the whole Salesforce route. I know you're on Salesforce.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah, it was a tough transition.
It's tough.
But and obviously you have to invest money. We're still paying for developers to make small tweaks here and there, but
yeah, I invested multiple six figures into Salesforce, and it was rough.
And so it obviously looks from the outside in that you have a lifestyle business.
Yeah.
So what do you, when you're not working, man, what do you do for fun?
Bro, it's tough. I mean, we were just talking. I love guns. I love shooting. It's funny because you and I have very similar, I guess, mindsets in that regard. You don't really realize it, but for 6 years, I didn't do any traveling. I didn't fuck around. I mean, I had some fun here and there, and I had a good life, but I was very dialed into what we were doing, right? Building and grinding. So now at 32, I just went to Vegas for the first time last week, and it was for a mastermind, but I had never been to Vegas.
Really?
I had a ton of friends that went to Vegas, but I was always in my business. I was always busy building my business. Those are the kinds of things that I'm enjoying now. I love what I do. I don't consider it work for one day. Like Marco, your guest.
Yep.
It made me feel so good when he was like, dude, I'm a deal junkie.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I could work 24 hours in a day. Thankfully, I don't have kids right now. My girlfriend's in my business too. So we have very similar mindsets. It's easier to row the boat in that direction.
Nice.
But I love shooting. I enjoy, traveling now, seeing some stuff. I usually try to wrap it around some sort of business setting as well, like traveling to Masterminds or going to CG or Boardroom, which I'm going to in December, and then enjoying that town as well. I'm going to Montana now on Thanksgiving because my girlfriend's from there.
Nice.
So we're gonna go hunting.
I heard Montana's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I went last year for the first time. Really? It's stunning. It's stunning, and all her uncles hunt, so I get to go hunting with them, and we caught a couple elk. So.
I know you're a part of multiple masterminds. What masterminds are you a part of now?
So I'm in the family mastermind, which is shout out to Matt Andrews. I just exited CG, but I was there for about 2 years. I used to be in the super group, and then now I'm considering joining Boardroom.
Okay.
With Justin Colby and Claudia.
And the one that was in Vegas, which one was that?
That's
one?
ICE. Yeah, so
ICE?
that's Inner Circle Elite. That's Don Costa. I'm also in that mastermind. Although, like with the mastermind, I try to help him as much as possible and just add value there.
And what is that? What is the premise of that mastermind? Is it for real estate investors mainly?
Yeah, it's mostly real estate girls and guys that are just what issues are you having, hot seats, breakout rooms, stuff like that, and then growth, from there. But there's people, there's flippers, there's wholesalers, there's rental, buy and hold guys, lenders from all walks of life.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Willy, if you had to give advice to like a newbie real estate investor, like what are some of the things that they should do if they want to get into real estate investing or even into being their own boss? They're becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Any suggestions you could give a young investor?
Yeah.
Or an entrepreneur?
So like brand new?
Yeah, like somebody that's maybe fresh out of college or fresh out of high school. Maybe they don't want to go to school.
Yeah. So fresh out of high school, if I could go back, don't go to college. That would be my suggestion, even though I did it.
Why do you say that?
Because I just would have been so much more focused on where I ended up anyway, and whatever. Don't even get me started. I think college is kind of a scam for a lot of reasons, but
honestly, we could definitely speak a little bit more about that because I agree, man.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college right away after I graduated high school. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I got into the mortgage industry at the age of 19, and I started seeing for what I thought was a lot of money at a young age. But then obviously the market crashed, and I was 24 years old, and I lost it all. The little that I had, I lost it all. Mm-hmm. And then I started working in the corporate world. I got lucky. I got some pretty decent positions, and then I started going to online university, which is, in my opinion, the biggest scam. And dude, I ended up getting my degree also in finance.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have done it in FIU or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, man, 80 grand later, dude, I was like,
Yeah.
this is not worth it.
Yeah,
you know? And I did it just in case I wanted to move up, because sometimes they
Yeah.
require you to have that bachelor's degree or whatnot. But
yeah, that's the thing with me, man. I'm 32 now. I didn't start my business till I was 25. I was already a college graduate, debt, the whole nine, right? And I tried the whole corporate America route. Turns out it really wasn't for me, because I ended up getting fired.
Yeah.
Anyway. But, you know, I graduated with 70 grand worth of college debt, and I was making $65,000 a year in New York.
Yeah.
It just, the math just doesn't add
yeah,
up.
it doesn't add up.
So
yeah.
the
With the cost of living up there, it's it's hard to make it work.
It's ridiculous. I was ramen noodle, 200 square foot apartment, splitting it with somebody else.
Wow.
You know, 100-hour work weeks,
Nuts.
sleeping at my desk a lot of times.
Nuts.
So, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're like, oh yeah, this is cool. But
Yeah.
looking back at it now, I'm like, God, that's so stupid.
So,
But my
So-
recommendation would be,
don't go to college.
don't go to college. Get very clear on what you want to do. Cut out and fire a lot of the people in your life, friends especially, sometimes family members, that are not on the same wavelength or are not going to, I call them deposits and withdrawals. People that are not depositing into your accounts, cut them out very quickly. Yes, it sounds harsh. It's because it is. You know, it's kind of like the oxygen mask on a plane. You got to put it on yourself first.
Yeah.
So do that and find somebody in whatever business you're in. We're talking about real estate primarily. Find somebody who is where you perceive you want to be. Vet them, you know, trust but verify, and then go either work for free or add a tremendous amount of value to that person and grow from there. And trust me, delay your gratification as long as you possibly can. I wish I would have very early on. I had already made millions in real estate, and I was blowing a lot of money like an asshole. Nowadays, I make even more money, and I'm much more frugal with my money and my investments. So that would be the best thing, man. Just don't go to college, stay focused, find somebody who is where you want to be, follow them around, whatever it is that you need to do. Don't pick their brain, for God's sakes. Add value to them, and they will in turn add value to you, and just make someone a lot of money that can help you get to where you want to get to, and delay your gratification. That's honestly what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. I want to backtrack a little bit. When you said you were a trader, what type of trader were you when you were in New York?
I was on a trader track. I was a junior trader.
Got it.
Which is kind of like a mix between an analyst and a trader. So for oil.
And are you doing any trading now, like on the side,
No.
or no?
Man.
Do you suggest to just do one thing, or do you recommend getting into multiple investments or multiple different types of businesses?
That's a great question. So it depends on where you're at in your life, and it depends on what season. So right now I have multiple businesses, but they're all cash flowing. And you spoke about this, and I couldn't agree with you more. You should not be buying rentals unless your active income is to a level where you can afford to buy rentals. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me started on sub 2 and this and that. Yes, I have sub 2s and I've done them, but I didn't do a sub 2 till 3.5 years into my career.
Yeah.
And I had already done probably 200 wholesales at that point. So no, I am a very big, even me, right? Like you asked me right now, I get opportunities, as I'm sure you're throwing opportunities every single day. My lane is real estate, first and foremost. Then the education company supplements my real estate lane. So it's a vertical that's right there. I didn't go real estate for 6 years and crypto. You know, not saying that you can't, I'm just saying that wasn't for me.
Got it.
So especially if you're newer, you should be focused on one thing, become a master, become a millionaire in that one thing. 'Cause that whole thing of, I don't know who the hell invented this, but that crap of like, oh, the average millionaire has 5 to 7 income streams.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
They became a millionaire off of one income stream, and then that led into other streams. Okay?
I agree.
So you can't build 4 or 5 houses at the same time while you're building your first house. Okay?
100%.
You need to lay down the foundation on that first house. Build the best first house you can, and then move on to the next project. And I say that to a lot of my students too, and people that are newer that come to me, and they're like, hey man, I want to do wholesaling, I want to do flips, I want to do creatives, and I'm like, pick one. Pick one, because up until right now, you've never done a deal. No, I've never done a deal. I'm like, then pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one and stick with it. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I know guys that have started in fix and flip. You did, right? I didn't, but I started with direct mail on wholesale, completely ass backwards. I would have done it the other way, right? But pick one and really become a master at that thing. And I call a master, you know, you could say 10,000 hours, millions, whatever, but if the thing consistently makes you money and it doesn't require much of your attention, then I would say that you are a master of that thing. Especially if you can walk away from that thing and that thing continues to grow without you. That is true mastery.
That's when you really have a business.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when that's not the case, you are technically still the business.
You are the business. Correct.
So I wanted to get your opinion on something. Yesterday I saw a video. I can't remember. It's one of the gurus. I think he's in Phoenix or whatnot. But he did a video where he prefers to have 10 rentals paid off versus having
FAG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus having, let's say, 30 or 40 with leverage.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
Look, man, I'm a finance guy by trade, right?
Yeah.
So leverage to me, the right leverage is never a bad thing. I don't think there's a right or wrong in those schools of thoughts. My opinion is I have debt on my rentals. There's a number of reasons why I do. Even if I buy them cash, which I rarely do, I will cash out refi. Number one, this is not the best refi market for it.
Yeah.
But barring a normal refi market, number one is tax-free, all right, forever. So please remember that. Number two, it cash flows better and it allows me to have a better IRR or an internal rate of return, and then I can leverage it and buy more.
Yeah.
I think where people get burned is where people buy a lot of shitty deals that don't pencil in. They throw leverage on them that forces them to pencil in, and then they get caught holding the bag. So the moral of the story is you need to buy right regardless. Whether it's an up market, a down market, a stagnant market, right now market, it doesn't matter. I'm still buying, but I'm being very particular with what I buy. And I have multiple exits for my buys that I can get out, God forbid. Or, hey, worst case scenario, the world shut down, it cash flows. Good. I'm good with it. So that's my opinion, man. I don't believe in tying up cash like that. I believe in redeploying my cash, not my reserves, but redeploying my cash into my active businesses to continue to grow.
Of course.
Especially if it's a newer business, it needs cash. But again, I think it's a different season in life.
Yeah. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
No.
You know, because I remember I had a CEO coach last year, and I asked him that question. I'm like, man, should I get leverage on a couple of these rentals that I own? Because I only owe on one of them right now. And he's like, man, it depends. You know, you can, but you know, because I told him it depends on your end goal. Do you want to continue buying more, or do you want to buy a lot of them? You know, so it really depends on what you want to do. And for example, with me, I kind of have PTSD from the 2008 crash. So I'm like, man, I don't want to get caught again, dude. So I know what I'm doing by paying them off, or you know, having them with zero debt is probably the safe route, but it's also the slower route, right? But
it is.
You know,
but again, again, I'm 32. I'm at the stage of my life, the season of my life right now where the words, I was just talking to my business coach right before I got here, and the word should, right, is a very dangerous word. And what I mean by that is like, you should do this or you shouldn't do that, right? Listen, you don't know, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's past is different. You went through 07, 08. I was getting out of high school in 07, 08, right? So I don't have that trauma. So you obviously feel more comfortable with like, hey, I never want to be caught holding the bag again, so I'm not. But at a certain point, I'm sure you're going to get over that, and you're going to be like, hey, this is a great market to leverage, right? Because if you're sitting on $2-3 million, you're like, dude, I got an opportunity over here. Yeah. Let me go.
I mean, I wish if I had the chance to go back to 18 months ago, I would have gotten leverage on all of them.
Every single one. Yeah.
You know, get them, exactly. 4%, 5%, but obviously now it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't pencil in.
Correct. But in the next year or two, it probably
could
will.
Be, yeah.
So I think the best answer that you said was it depends. Yeah. One of the wealthiest Wall Street guys that I ever met, he was a billionaire, and he did always say that. I remember that. He said, it depends. It depends. Yeah. The answer to that question is it depends. Because my liquidity needs are different from yours. Yeah. Yours are different from mine. Your business is different from mine. Well, you never know, right? And if I'm very cash heavy and a good opportunity presents itself and I got nowhere else to put the cash, I might just buy it, right? So I think it depends is a great response.
Okay. I wonder what's going to happen now. We've reached over $1 trillion in credit card debt in a whole as a country. Yeah. And what does that tell you? That obviously people don't have any more money, so they're going to their credit card. So things are going to start breaking, I think, in the near future.
I think within the next we're in November right now of 2023. I think by summer Q2 of 2024, we're gonna start to see some fireworks. Look, no one talks about it anymore, but I was making videos about when First Republic and SVB Bank and all that shit. I mean, they all went under.
Yep.
People seem to just have
they forgot
pushed
about
that under the rug.
Yeah.
I mean, Credit Suisse is an institution that was around for 150 plus years. They went under.
Yeah.
So if that's not an indicator that the Fed has broken shit, that's an indicator. So I don't know how much longer the economy, the system can hold out with these level of rates, Yeah. At a certain point, something's got to give.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Willie, I wanted to ask you now on the personal side, something you mentioned to me offline that you quit drinking alcohol 7 months ago.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about that because I'm sure there's a lot of people, viewers, listeners out there that are maybe thinking about quitting. Probably things are, falling apart in their family or their life due to the drinking and the alcohol.
Yeah.
Any recommendations you could give? It kind of like give us a little background on your evolution of quitting drinking. What was the hard part? What was the good things?
Yeah, sure. So look, I quit. I just stopped cold turkey. It wasn't like for addict reasons or anything like that. I wasn't in an AA or anything like that, thankfully. Dude, I told you off camera, it was very simple. I got to the point one day where I woke up fairly hungover after Formula One in Miami. And I was just like, dude, something internally just snapped in me, and I'm like, bro, I don't ever want to fucking feel like this again. Will I ever drink again? I'm sure. But for right now, my priorities, I'm so busy and I have so many good things going for me that I just did a simple inventory, like a self-inventory, and I just said, in every single equation, does alcohol, for example, add or take away?
Yeah.
And the answer was the same unanimously.
It usually takes away, for sure.
It was taken away. I got a great partner, my spouse, who doesn't really drink anyway.
Yeah.
So that made it a lot easier. Some of the health benefits, man. I mean, I was already into fitness. I was really into my health. I track all my macros. We talk about that stuff. I was in the gym 6-7 days a week. So that was like an oxymoron because I'm like, dude, I'm putting in all this work and I'm still drinking. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I really noticed that the real reason why I was drinking was either peer pressure or something inside of me that I didn't want to deal with. So I was masking it with alcohol sometimes.
Got it.
Whether it be a business problem or my ex-business partnership split or any shit like that or deeper trauma and stuff like that. So I decided to take a journey, eliminate it, and really get to know me for me. Rather than, the fake version of me and us, and I'm not judging anybody. If you want to drink, do your thing. I got friends that drink.
I still drink, honestly, and this is a battle for me too. Every time I wake up hungover, I want to quit drinking, but then I forget about how hungover I was, and then I start drinking again, and it's kind of like that vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
And I actually, for me, I enjoy drinking wine, but like I said, sometimes you could take it overboard.
Yeah.
So
I
commend you, man, honestly, for doing that.
Man. I appreciate the fact that you're even bringing this up and like you're being so open with yourself because I do think it's one of those taboo things where nobody really talks about. Look, just to be clear, you don't have to have you don't have to be an alcoholic or you don't have to have like a problem with alcohol to talk about it. Like it is what it is. I mean, it's science. It is a poison, whatever you want to cut it, right? And to anyone that's watching, the days that you're dragging ass and, running multiple businesses. I run at a very high pace. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I work deep into the night. So I love to do that. And I just really love the freedom of choice because I can wake up every day without alcohol in my life. Number one, anxiety has gone through the floor. I don't have any anxiety anymore, like very rarely. Yeah, no, seriously. Psychologically, the brain fog is gone. I can keep up with anything that life throws my way, which is already hard enough, so much easier. And I make better decisions because I'm not impaired or I'm not hungover or I don't have that draggy feeling. So that's why I did it. It was for health, personal, business, whatever. And I just chose my priorities in business, my responsibilities, and my potential over having a couple drinks. You know, that's really what it was for me. And, you know, I don't have some kind of special sauce, but
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that when I want to quit something or I want to do something, I'm done. And 7 months in, bro, I don't regret any day of it. It's an awesome feeling to be able to wake up and go to the gym or do this or do that. You're not tired. You're not sluggish. You burn fat like a mother.
Yeah.
I mean, the fat just falls off.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Your skin gets better.
Yeah.
My sleep is 10 times better.
Wow.
I don't kick and, you know, scream in the
Yeah.
middle of the night or toss and turn and shit. You know,
Yeah.
so again, it's not a pun at anybody. It's just what worked for me.
Well, man, thank you for being open and
appreciate
talking
it.
about that. So, well, Willy, man, thank you for being a guest on the show, man.
Appreciate
that.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.